Welcome back to Not Enough Projects. Today we got, well, a small engine project. This is a snowblower, obviously, which I picked up about 2 years ago and not running. Just needed a carb clean like everything that you pick up not running. That's a small engine. Worked good, hardly got used. We don't really get much snow that sticks around where I'm at. Although the reason why we've got it up here is because that is not true right now. We're getting a ton of snow and it's going to stick around for a week plus. So anything over a few inches needs removed or else it turns into thick ice. So I pulled this out of storage, gave it some gas, and it fired right up first pull. Although it looks like the needle seat's leaking a little bit. But only the right side track was moving. And you may have noticed already, this drive wheel, which is plastic, don't ask me why, broke. Now, you can get this part off of eBay, a used part. It's probably going to be brittle just like this one, but I need this now. So we got to try to figure out how we can fix that and hopefully get this thing back throwing snow. So let's yank the track off and get the drive wheel off and see what we're working with. So this is a pretty old machine. It's an old Sears Craftsman. Let me see if there's a year on here. I don't see a year, but if I'm remembering right, it's early 90s, somewhere around there. The track is nice, because obviously tracks don't really get stuck like wheels do. I just went ahead and put a block under there so we can get the track off. So kind of my knee-jerk idea of how we could fix this is maybe we could plastic weld and put in some metal, like melt some metal into this. I don't know how strong that would be, so we'll have to figure that out. Or another idea I was thinking of is if we could like bolt the metal plate into this and somehow attach it to the hub. So we got a couple options. I don't know if they're gonna work, but I don't know. I guess if you guys are watching this, there's probably a good chance it is gonna work. So, spoiler alert. I did notice the other side is starting to crack a little bit, but we may just leave it alone until it breaks. The track's in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of rot. Hopefully it doesn't break apart, because I don't know how readily available a track for this thing is. Should just slide right off now, hopefully. So there's our idler wheel, I guess you'd call it. It's not under any load, so that makes sense why it's plastic. The drive wheel, on the other hand, I don't understand at all. Well, I mean, I do understand its cost. So there's that little bit of cracking I was talking about, but it's not all the way through, so I think this still has a good bit of life in it. Okay, so there we are. So luckily this isn't cracked at all. It's just the hub to the ring that cracked. So let's figure out, how does this fit? So it would have been pretty easy to fix if it cracked like here, because we could have just like bolted some metal strapping on each section, but it's going to be kind of tricky because we don't really have any flat area off of the hub to attach anything to. So I'm going to do some thinking on this and come back once I have an idea. Alright, so here's the only real option I can think of. We can get some metal, like L, or make them L braces, and we'll go from like here down to this, and we'll have a through bolt on this side, and then on this side I think the best we can do is just like a self-tapper, and hopefully if we do one on each side, then that'll be rigid enough, but I don't have high hopes with that. I can't really think of any other way we could do that. it wouldn't really be that hard to just fabricate a whole new one out of metal, because there's a lot of slop in these compared to the track, so you just need something that engages the track, basically. So you could do it, yeah, it's just more work than I want to do right now. So the way this broke, this doesn't slot back in right now, so I think I'm going to use a Dremel or something and just make it so that this will fit back down in there where it's supposed to be, and then we can start dealing with our bracketry. Alright, so it's a quick way to get your daily dose of microplastic. Alright, there we go. Slots back in now. We could try plastic welding, just to at least hold it while we make the brackets and put them on. I don't know what type of plastic this is. Only certain types of plastics are, you know, thermal plastics that can be reworked with heat. So maybe I'll fire up the plastic welder and we can tack it in place, I guess. Alright, so while our iron's heating up, I grabbed some miscellaneous stuff we could use from my potentially useful metals bin. Sometimes it pays to be a hoarder. I was thinking maybe we could use these and not really have to modify anything. Just cut. And you know, in a few different places that might work. These are like radio brackets, I think, for like a car. We also got some of this stuff. Like, this is like construction tie. We could put that in the vise and turn it into a right angle. That would also work. And then I've also just got, like, I don't know, what is this, 24 gauge or something, which obviously we could bend and make some L brackets. I've also got this mesh that we could melt into the plastic to try to strengthen it. But again, I don't really know how well this plastic's gonna weld up. Alright, so this is warm-ish now. This is just some HDPE, which is kind of the classic plastic that you can rework with heat. It's like what milk jugs are made out of. Let's see how this stuff melts. You know, it might be HDPE, I don't know. It seems to melt fine, so we'll give it a go. We're just going to want to keep this centered-ish. It's not super critical, it's not like it's moving at 1000 RPM or anything. Yeah, seems to be taken. Maybe we just, you know, weld it up as best we can. Do a couple brackets, and that might be enough. That way I'm not having to deal with doing so many. So, just keep filling. Let's cut some of this out and see if we can melt it in. I don't know, I think that wide's probably good. Let's see how tall we're gonna go. No, probably this tall. Let's try that. So you can kind of see how it melts into the plastic. If it would focus, at least. The fumes are really good to inhale too. Smells really nice. Add some filler in there. Let that cool down. Doing on the other side. Alright, I'm gonna keep working on that and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright, so here we go. Both sides. Ugly, but they are welded, I guess you'd say. I went ahead and did 4 meshes on each side, so like 2 here, 2 here, and on the other side they'd be here and here. It's actually surprisingly strong. I'm kind of half tempted to maybe just throw it back together like this and see how it lasts. I don't know. I kind of think that's what I'm going to do. Unplug the iron. That's like the most force I can put on there, and it's not cracking, so it's not really like a high force situation. I don't know. Let's try it and see. It's obviously not very true, but I'm hoping there should be enough slack that it doesn't really matter. And by slack I mean slop between the teeth on this drive wheel and the knobs on the tread. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Let's untension it all the way. Come on. We need to do both at the same time. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Before we set it on the ground and see what she does, we need to fix the leaking carb. So it lives under here. We need to pop the screws and stuff out so we can get to it. Okay, I guess it could be a fuel line too, but I would guess it's the bowl. Now there's no air cleaner on this, because obviously a snowblower is only really operated in the snow and there's not really dirt. Can't remember if that knob comes off or if you take the whole linkage off. Okay, that works. And there we go. The fuel line looks okay to me. I think it was leaking out of the bowl like I thought. So let's just pop the bowl off. I don't think we need to take the whole carb off. It ran good, so we don't need to go through all the jets or anything. So there's a needle. Looks clean. We also just want to check that the float isn't compromised, because if there's liquid in it, then obviously it won't float. So that's another big thing to check. I don't feel any in there, so it should be fine. Okay, well, let's just put it back in, I guess. Hopefully there's just a bit of junk stuck in the seat. There we go. There's a little bit of junk in the bowl, so I'm gonna wipe that out. Okay, let's put some gas in there and see if it's still gonna leak on us. This ought to be interesting. Okay, that should be enough to see. We're still having trouble. Okay, I hear it filling. The answer is yes, we are. And it's coming out of the float. So, seat's still not seating for whatever reason. Is that not the fuel line? That's not the fuel line. It's like, huh, there's way more in that bowl than there should be. Okay, that should stop it. It's kind of sticking. It's a little weird. I wonder if there's some junk up in there that I didn't get. Obviously, I still don't have the fuel line clamped off enough. Wow, okay, well it's just not ever going to clamp off all the way apparently. There should be a little seal up in there. Because it feels like there's rubber up in there, so it's one of those types. Possibly the rubber's just petrified. But let's just throw the float back on there and see. Okay, I think it might have sealed up. Really, that rubber seal for the needle needs replaced, but I don't have one. So, we're going to call that good. Seems fine. Cool. Alright. Good enough for me. Now that we got gas everywhere and down my sleeves. Yeah, I think we're good. Set this back on there. Almost forgot to plug in our vent. Alright, I'm going to go get this set down and bring it outside, and we'll see how long the wheel lasts. Might be forever, might not be. So let's find out. Alright, say we got ample testing grounds. It's nice and chilly out here, low teens, so let's go ahead and see if she'll fire up. Yesterday when I got this out to hopefully blow snow, it fired up first pull, so we'll see if that happens. Actually, it should be in neutral already. And give her a yank. She's got a primer bulb, not that we need it because we spilled so much gas in it. I probably flooded it. Try and choke off. Oh, plug's loose. That's interesting. Obviously I never got past testing phase before. Easy trick for spark though. Yeah, good spark. Should be more than enough. Alright, here we go. Wonder if the float's stuck. Get something to tap on the float bowl with. It just needs to warm up a little bit, I don't know. Well, it goes straight, so that's a win. You can see it's relatively low impact, so it's not like it's under a ton of stress. Put it at high speed. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Might be warm enough to take choke all the way off. Yep. Well, I'm getting all snowed over from that. Okay, well, I'm gonna call that a win. I think it's gonna work just fine. So, yeah, not too shabby. I guess if it breaks, I'll bring you guys back and we'll try to fix it again. So, yep, I would say that we can call that wheel fixed. It survived doing the whole drive. Not that this is crazy snow or anything, it's like a foot maybe, but definitely would be a bear to do by hand, so good stuff. Until next time.